but she is not having much joy in her hunts. It's a tricky business, and I'm certainly trying just to get used to what to do with these Facebook Lives. Some of you must think I'm crazy, because every 5 minutes I think the hunt has subsided, which I guess it may have, and then she starts up again as soon as we say goodbye to you guys. So it's as if our synchronization is not quite working out so well at the moment, but that will hopefully change. And what will also hopefully change is that this lioness's partner will come to the fray and actually try and assist. I've lost track of where the other lioness is. I'm using a FLIR thermal camera, which allows me to scan around without using a spotlight to look for the other lioness, but she is nowhere to be seen for the moment. Okay, it sounds like there's some zebra heading towards this lioness. Now, even this lioness on her own, what's going on here, may get lucky because of this state of confusion that she's causing when she chases some herds, and maybe some members of that herd may bombshell and scatter in the wrong direction. So she's certainly got a chance of latching onto something. Genre, stay on the lioness, please. Sorry, I just thought I saw. There we go. Okay. Now that looks like a big stallion just in front of her. You can see it's trying to swivel its ears to listen. After dark like this, their hearing will provide them with possibly more insight into where their predators may be approaching from, so that's why I just stopped to try and work out what's happening. Let's see if there aren't any other zebra following that stallion. Yes, here comes some more. Now, it's difficult to judge distance, but she's probably just twice as far as she would like to be before she pounces. If she was half that distance, she would definitely have a go at one of these zebra. How fascinating is this? Ooh, this one's a bit smaller, and a smaller zebra will definitely be more enticing towards this lioness. What is she going to do? Whew. There's still 4 more zebra coming. There's 4 more zebra that need to come past. Is she going to try and edge a little bit closer to halve that gap, which I think she really does need to do? Now, the 3rd zebra along that's coming, so no, not this one, the next one that's about to come past the line, not this one. There's one behind it that looks quite small in the FLIR. Not too much smaller, a little bit. Well, you don't get much better than this, everyone. Live from the Masai Mara in Kenya. Julie, you say you're surprised that she cannot smell the lioness there. Well, that would all depend on which way the wind is blowing, and if it was blowing from them towards her, then there's no ways that they'd be able to smell her. So don't be surprised that they cannot smell her. They can definitely sense something there, though. You can see how they're honing their ears and looking, and maybe they can just see a slight bump on the ground. But it's a dead still evening, and the wind is actually blowing into us. So it's blowing from the zebra towards the lion, which must be making her taste buds water. I can hear a lion calling off in the distance as well, probably a few kilometers away. Hello to Teresa, who would like to know if this is the Masai Mara or the Mara Triangle. We are in the Mara Reserve, but it's all part of the Masai Mara ecosystem. So it's a very big ecosystem, but the Triangle and the Mara Reserve are the 2 main bodies that make up the Masai Mara, and then the conservancies that are owned by the communities further to the north and east of the reserve. So yes, we are on the Masai Mara, and we are on the reserve side. We are on the eastern side of the Mara River here. I wonder what that zebra is thinking. Imagine looking off into the darkness, wondering if something that is trying to kill you is lurking nearby. I guess it's kind of commonplace for these animals, but for me it's a very, very scary thought, having to permanently live in fear that a lion may end on your back. Hello to Anne. You've likened this dazzle of zebra to a conveyor belt of salami, and yes, it basically was just like that. And I guess the only thing that this lioness needs to do is choose which one she wants to go for. I'm quite impressed that she hasn't blundered in here, because she's obviously done the maths and realized that she's just not close enough, or these zebra all look like they're in too good a condition to risk blowing her cover here. And she knows if she just waits, maybe more zebra will come past on that so-called conveyor belt. Plenty of options, not much cover though, still evening, so the prey are going to hear her footsteps as she approaches. Hello to Jerry. You are impressed with this lioness's self-control and are surprised that she can resist the urge to charge after the zebra, and I'm sure it's just from many, many failed attempts. Lion take many years to master the arts, and especially when they're younger, they do go blundering in from long distances, but it very often ends up in failure. So they should, in theory, quickly learn that it is not the best way to go about things. There needs to be a little bit of skill and strategy involved, and it's not just about pure speed and strength. There's definitely a lot of thinking that needs to go into a good hunt. Where could your friend be? Waiting for you to call her for dinner? Hello to Janine. You admitted that you would be a useless lion if you come back as one of those in the next life, as you have got no patience. To be honest, Janine, I mean, it's not just about patience. If they were a little bit more strategic, they could be a little bit more impatient. It's just the fact that their planning is often less than desirable, in my opinion, and this is a perfect example thereof. You've got these two lionesses who are evidently great friends. They've been bonding with one another, lots of snuggling, aloe grooming, yet this individual is happy to go off hunting on its own, rather than trying to, sum up the other one and convince it to come to hunt, or try and go in one direction, or at least be around to assist in things. But there's none of that. And some of you may have been joining in on the other drives the other day. I may have heard me saying that I'm a firm believer that I think people give lions and most predators far too much credit with regarding their planning and their possible strategies. For me, it's more often than not just a basic stalking followed by a chase, and sometimes, more often than not, the lions don't get lucky, but occasionally they do. And this, for me, is a very good example of that. There's been no cohesion between these two ladies, unless the other one's doing the mega pincer movement way out of our view, which is unlikely because we're in a very large open plain, and I think it's probably sleeping right behind the vehicle somewhere. Hello to Mr. Graham Wallington, and you've asked a question that I would love to be able to answer. You would like to know if these zebra can see the lion. And that moment when they stopped and they were kind of looking at the lion, when the lion was at its closest point to them, I think they can possibly make something out. just like a bit of a bump in the ground, something worth taking heed of. But they weren't certain of it. Had they have been certain that that was a lion, they would have let us know. They would have made an alarm call and run off. But their behavior indicates that they were just picking up something. So they could maybe just work out that there was something odd in the grass that was worth avoiding. But I think their hearing was what they were kind of really using to try and further assist what their eyes were seeing. So from that distance, no. From 50 meters or 40 meters on a dark evening like it is now, the zebra, I don't think, could see those lion. Obviously, if you halve that distance, the lion may become a lot more visible to the zebra. But from where they are there, they can't work out anything clear enough to be certain of danger and then move on. It would be wonderful, though, to climb into the body of both the predator and the prey and get an idea of what they're both dealing with. Dina, you've made a good comment in that you said if you had any inkling of a lion nearby, if you were a zebra, you would make your way off. But what you did wisely at the end of your comment is mention that you would move off slowly, because if you were to run off into the unknown, you may get snagged by another lion. So it is often actually a technique that a lot of the prey will use. Rather than running away wildly from their predators, they'll keep an eye on them and sometimes even follow them, blasting out alarm calls, letting everyone in the area know that there's danger, and therefore increasing all the prey animals' chances of survival. Where on earth is this other lioness? I mean, it would just be wonderful if she decided to pop into the fray now and prove me wrong. Oh, Jean-Andre, let's go to 10 o'clock. Or 9, yeah, from 9 on to 10, 9:30 on to 10. There's two small somethings. I'm not sure what they are. Ah, cool. Two black-backed jackals coming in, doing a bit of scent marking. Hey guys, she's really going for it. Okay, well, happy to see that the jackals are laying claim to this little patch of turf. I wonder if they know these lions are here. They are coming from the same direction that the lions came from, so you could find that they are actually following the lion's scent trail, knowing that they may get to an easy meal at the end of it. The easy meal being all the little titbits and scraps that may be left after the lions have had their share. But no, they are heading off in the opposite direction. Oh, Dina, I'm glad you enjoyed seeing those jackals. I also really did, and I'm quite surprised that they turned on their heels and ran off. I was expecting them to come closer and investigate this lioness, as they often do with other large predators. They can hunt for themselves, though. Young baby Tommies will be high up on the list of their favorites. But even a full-grown adult Tommy they can take down. So, like most scavengers, they can also hunt for themselves when push comes to shove. The zebra still completely oblivious to this lioness. You see, if she just waits there, and, if enough zebra relax around her, another herd could come in and just be on the wrong side of things. Hello, Cheryl. You would like to know what the time is, and I've just been told by Louise, who's in the final control, that it's 10 to 11. Thank you, Louise, because I actually had lost track of time. Jean-Andre and I have had a wonderful evening out with our ranger who spends the night out with us, Alex. We've just met him today. Lovely guy. Bless you, Gendre. We've had some tasty snacks out here. We've already had dinner, some coffee, some chocolate. So we've had a good evening out. A few failed attempts from these two ladies. Well, this one lady and her very, very lazy friend who is out of sight at the moment. Peaceful lioness that doesn't like the chaos of a hunt and can only deal with it afterwards. Who knows? Hello, Renee. You would like to know if we ever get scared by being so close to lions, and not really, no. The most scary times for me are definitely when I'm on foot in the African wilderness and not in a vehicle, and especially not with the big cats in vehicles. They're very, very unlikely to attack you when you are in a vehicle, especially if you just give them the space they need, and if they're in a bad mood, they'll often let you know, just like humans, which gives you enough time to give the animal a bit more distance or just move on. So, thankfully, we don't have to be scared of these animals. They are very, very focused on other tasty beings such as zebra and wildebeest, which I'm hugely grateful for. And after many, many years of us viewing them, and many people before us viewing them, they have become completely relaxed with our presence, and we almost fit into this kind of neutral brackets. We're not prey, we're not enemy, and those are kind of the two options out here. You are the food, or you're somebody's enemy that's competing for that same food, and we are neither of that. So they don't see us as competition and are quite happy for us to document their lives and keep you guys in the loop via these live safaris. And we're very fortunate for that, because, of course, if we couldn't view these animals and couldn't share these wonderful experiences with you and other people who come out on safari, these animals would have very, very little chance of being looked after, because their habitats would not create any revenue. So it's hugely important that we can view them safely and enjoyably, because that allows us to create awareness and conserve these wonderful wilderness areas that these animals live in. Of course, though, from time to time when a lion walks right past the vehicle, you would have to be short-circuiting a few synapses to not have your heartbeat increase. Even just the other day, when we came across it, was the biggest lioness I've ever seen. She was a brute. And as we kind of arrived into the sighting, we were far away. We were like 30, 40 meters away from her, not close by normal standards. And she just kind of stopped and looked straight through us. And that was quite a interesting moment where I thought, what is she thinking? Because at the end of the day, you do not know what these animals are going to do, even though statistics may suggest certain things. You can always be surprised by wild animals. So that's the one kind of lesson to learn from that. Always have a healthy respect for them, but just keep a healthy distance, keep an eye on their behavior, and then all should, in theory, be okay. Hello to Adele. You would like to know how many times will a lioness hunt in an evening? And it's a good question. I've only been spending full nights out with lion since I got here, so that's only a month. And in that time, we've been really, really lucky with some fascinating insights into what they get up to and when. But, you know, they could attempt to hunt prey 20 or 30 times on an evening like this. I mean, there's so many options. There's only two of them, so the odds are, well, in this case, there's only one of them, but there is a second one somewhere. So her odds aren't very good. So she's going to keep trying, and it could be countless times that she tries. I mean, she's going to have enough stamina and energy to keep trying. She's by no means ill or sick or weak. So she's got lots of power in there. It's just how she wants to go about using it. And I guess each hunt is different. Some hunts, just the stalk may take out a lot of energy, being permanently prone, crouched to the ground, muscles flexed. Even if she's not chasing prey, if she's in a position like that for half an hour, she's going to be pooped by the end of it. However, if it's just a kind of quick stalk, like she's been doing here through these plains, she's not going to be using up too much energy. It's probably just her confidence that needs some boosting, rather than her energy levels. I want to swivel the vehicle around and try and work out where her friend is, because this is quite baffling behavior. Hello, little one. I hope all is well with you. You would like to know if we are the only people allowed to snoop around after dark, and yes, at the moment we are. We've got very special permission to be out after dark. Oh, she's having a showdown with a hyena. Scrap the hyena and come and help your friend do some hunting. Or maybe she's justifying her behavior, saying she's keeping the hyena at bay so that when her friend does bring one down, she doesn't get hassled. Which I guess would be accepted in some circles. I wouldn't let that fly with me, personally. And what you'll find probably just happened is this hyena probably just arrived at this lioness and realized there wasn't any meat, so not worth risking anything. So now she's going to head off and possibly find a meal of her own, that hyena, or go and look for another pride of lion and see if they've had any success. Where are we? This was the one we were with initiating to. It's so confusing at night. I didn't know which way Genre was pointing the camera, but I'm 90% sure this was the... What is happening here? Ooh. Stop, look at all those zebra coming towards you. If you just lay down there, they would walk into you. No! Oh, terrible decisions. I mean, that was just a golden opportunity that she's let slip by. Maybe she's had enough of hunting alone and is going to look for her. Well, I think she may have noticed the zebra now. You're a little bit late. But there's still a chance she could still loop back a little bit and get into a good spot. You see, I mean, they were coming straight towards her, the path she was moving along. Oh, now she's got the memo. Very good. Okay, we're going to have to move the vehicle, though, to try and keep us in distance. Genre's got a massive lens on this camera, but after dark with the infrared lights, it only works so far. So requires us to have to reposition and reshuffle in order to make sure we get you as close to the action as possible. Okay. She is at 9:15. Just beyond that little bump, yeah. There we go. Now that we know where the lioness is, we can quickly show you where the zebra are. They're kind of just in front of her. Oh. No. You see, she blew that. I mean, she was just in the perfect place to stop earlier. But now they've changed direction ever so slightly and headed off away from her. We are going to have a long night, I feel, following this lady. still haven't worked out where that other lioness is, though. When I got discombobulated and that other the hyena rocked up onto the scene, it kind of threw me off a little bit. So Jeandre is just going to have a quick pan now with his camera. Hello again, Adele. Ah, well done, Jeandre. Sorry, so I am officially losing my mind, everyone. Jeandre has found the other lioness, the first lioness. Number 1, I think we will call her. And number 2 will be the one that's always at the back. So this is number 1. And where's number 2? What o'clock were you there? Were you like 2ish?
So she's at 9:30, the other one's at 3.
Okay, so this is actually a very interesting scenario we have. We've got one lioness directly to our left, and one lioness directly to our right. If only I had a costume like a lion, I would put it on and be in the center of their pincer movement and try and assist them in bringing down one of these zebra. But we are well positioned. We've got one lion on each side of us. Ooh. And even though they're very far apart, as this lioness gets closer and possibly spooks this herd of zebra, they could go running and create a bit of shock and pandemonium, and that other lioness could find herself in a fortunate position. I'm going to keep an eye on, interestingly, the one at 9:30 is at 10 now, Jeandre. I'll keep an eye on her. There's nothing ahead of her too close, so definitely stay on your one. Stay on number 1. A spotlight. So all I'm seeing are heat signatures. I've got a lion in the frame now, as well as some other prey, but they're probably 100 meters ahead of it. Jeandre, let's go across into number 2, because number 2 is moving. She's at 12 o'clock. Nice. This is looking better now. The fact that number 2 has gotten to 12 o'clock and we've got number 1 at 9 o'clock is going to be really good. Julie, you feeling lucky? You saying these lioness are going to do it? I think you are right. I think they could get lucky now. And the reason being is that for the first time this evening, number 2 has got her act together, and she's finally decided to do some stalking. And even though they aren't kind of working together directly, number 2 could chase these zebras all the way around to number 1, who's also off to the right. The only catch is I can't keep an eye on number 1 now. Oh no, I can. I've actually got her, Jeandre. I've got number 1. She's lying down, I'm fairly certain. I can just see a tiny blob. I wish I could show you guys the images I'm getting through the flare to give you an idea, but that is something that will be, hopefully, a new improvement in the coming weeks. So it is something for you guys to look forward to. We're going to be trying to connect this camera to a live feed, and then we'll be able to ping-pong between Jeandre's fancy camera work and my not-so-fancy flare work, but we will work on it. And it's definitely going to be 2 wonderful toys combined together to allow us to see some epic things after dark. Number 1 still seems stationary, Jeandre. Number 2 is stationary. And this was a very good situation, though. We just have to be a bit patient. Jeandre is going to show you guys where number 1 is. Well done. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, 2 different herds of zebra that they're stalking, but if either one of these herds runs off wildly, being chased by one of these lions, it could bode well for these lioness. Now, something to think just a step ahead of what may happen. Sorry, Jeandre, he's swallowing mosquitoes. The one thing that we should be ready for is if and when these ladies do get lucky, which for me it's just a matter of time, I'm fairly certain we are going to have a bit of a showdown between hyena and these two lioness. Two lioness on their own can get overthrown by 6, 7 hyena, which is not a lot of hyena considering the large populations that occur here. That's not to say that these two will, categorically. They may not take any nonsense from the hyena, but I'm fairly certain we are going to get some very, very interesting behavior as and when these ladies acquire some meat. I'm keeping an eye on number 2, Gendre. It looks like she's back into her state of slumberiness, which is, as of this evening's behavior, being a kind of, she heard me, and now she's moving. She is at 12 o'clock. Well done. Oh no, you're going the wrong way. Yeah, no, I mean the lioness. I thought the lioness heard me and was going off to show us how good she was at hunting. Maybe she's coming to give me a little talking to. What are your plans? So just to keep everyone in the loop, this is number 2. We are not very impressed with her hunting skills and her teamwork so far. Number 1, on the other hand, has been a bit more proactive thus far this evening. Where are you going, number 2? Now, I had a guess earlier that these are quite young lioness. They're definitely fully grown, but they just seem on the young side of things, maybe 3 or 4 years old. Not very worldly yet. But sure, and they sure are in great condition. Physically. Mentally, I'm not too sure about this one. Where are you going? There's absolutely no food in front of you in that direction. Your teammate is on the other side of the fray with a whole bunch of zebra in front of it. How are you thinking that this is going to help fill your belly this evening, missus? Let's go back onto the other one, Gendre, and I'll keep an eye on number 2. Thank you for your comment. It has made me chuckle, and I'm now smiling. You have asked why that lioness is walking with such a swagger. It should be stalking something, and I agree. But like I said, I think she's just a young lady enjoying the high life without too many cares or worries in the world. I don't think she's had cubs yet in her life. She doesn't look like her nipples have been worked before, so that means, again, further testament to the fact that she's possibly quite young, carefree, and hence the swagger when she should be stalking or skulking off, embarrassed. Okay, let me see. Number 2 is still walking off into the distance, it appears. Could I hear some hyenas cackling there, Gendre? I thought it was the gimbal squeaking. I've got this little thermal camera that I'm using mounted on a gimbal, and I thought we've kind of done a bit of a modification to it, and I thought it was where the tape was bound onto this little device that was making a funny squeaking noise, but it was in fact the laughing cackle of a hyena. The fact that I couldn't make it out very clearly indicates two things. One, that my hearing is not very good, and two, that they're probably a little bit far away. If they were close enough for me to hear clearly, then we would be tearing off to see what the commotion was about, but it'll be a bit hard to work out where exactly they are. Hello, Arkib. Yes, I think you are right that number 2 is a lover, not a fighter. And I don't know, what did you think? She'll run in with her eyes closed and just take a few mouthfuls of the wildebeest and then run off and open her eyes once it's all done. But she definitely doesn't seem like she wants to sink her claws into any zebra tonight. Chandra, I'm going to ask you, sorry, just to pan back to number 2 and see if you can see her. She's probably at around 7 o'clock at the moment, so I just want to make sure. The pole might be in your way. Let me swivel a little bit for you. Stay on that side. Let me just do my maths again. She is at 8 o'clock now on the horizon. Then let me go a bit more. Oof. Wait for the dust to settle. Let me do my maths again. Okay, she's at 9 o'clock now. 9:30.
She's heading towards her prey. It's out of our range.
Yeah, she can carry on chasing those Thompson's gazelle until she realizes she's not going to catch one. I'm just wondering why she's going so far away from this other lion. If there's not something else. Ooh, what's that there in front of another Tommy? Oof. This lioness is doing a wonderful job at wasting her time this evening, because the chances of her bringing down one of those tiny, very, very slight and agile Thompson's gazelle on her own is near impossible. Let's go back to number 1 and see what... Oh, no, number 1's still... okay, I can see number 1's all on her own now. I think it would make sense for us to stay with number 1, everyone, because number 2 has... I think she's at 1 o'clock, Chandra. Okay.
She's probably at around 4.
Try 3. I can see a little blob. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, there's number 1, still waiting patiently. Number 2 is skipping through the meadows with Thompson's gazelle. And just the most really, really bizarre behavior. Because this is just showing us that these two lionesses do not know how to cooperate with one another. They're both off on completely different tangents. And I fear if they continue to work alone, they may have a fruitless evening. Well, there's some wonderful news that has just come from the western side of the Mara River. Brent is out and about, and he's stumbled upon some lion who know what they're doing.
Yes, while you were with Scott in that intense stalk, a hapless wildebeest sort of stumbled upon our lions, and believe it or not, It was the male who did all the killing. He jumped on and suffocated, not the female. Now, we have lost a female since you were last with us. We're not sure where she is. She's disappeared into the long grass. She might arrive at any time, but we're not 100% sure. But yes, they have had success here on the southern plains of the Mara Triangle. And you can hear all the other wildebeest in the distance. Meh, meh, meh. Now, this is one of the wonderful things about being out all night and sticking with the animals. You get to see exactly what happens. And it was quite spectacular. Well, hi everyone. And of course I've got Vim on camera with me. And we're having a wonderful time so far. We've had one unsuccessful hunt and one successful hunt. As I said, we have managed to lose one lioness. Now, I'm still not sure which lions these are. Now, I think Scott might have seen this male before. And I know he said one of the lionesses was missing the tip to her tail that he saw in this area before. And both of these lions seem to have the tips to their tail. And it is a wonderful thing. We are busy trying to work out who's who in the Mara at the moment. And I definitely have not seen this beautiful big boy before. He's got a very distinctive scar below his right eye. That's about all I can say. Now, I'm not sure which camera we're on, so Lou's just going to let me know. Are we on the thermal or are we on the Z1? Stacey is wondering, are the wildebeest that are calling in the background absolutely deafening? Well, they're not deafening. You know what? It reminds me of, especially at a distance like this, it reminds me of frogs after the summer rains, like guttural and red-backed toads going ballistic. But by no means is it deafening. And I think over the last couple of weeks, I've become immune. Have you become immune to the sound of constantly?
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, actually it's quite comforting knowing that the migration's all around us. There we go, you can see he's opening up the tummy. Now, warning for some of you who might not like gruesome things. Sometimes at this stage it can get a little bit gruesome. The lions are going to go after the organs that are the sort of high nutrient value pieces, liver, lungs, heart, etc. So it can get a little bit gory. So I'm just warning you in advance. Okay, now as you can see, we're using our infrared. Now, I'm going to ask Louise to switch across to the thermal flare. I'm learning how to pronounce new words as we go along. A flare camera, and you can actually just see the heat exuding off the wildebeest. And look at that. So we're out on that camera now, and you can see how the body heat of the lions sticks out. And I always find it absolutely incredible when you look at the male lion versus the female lion and how much cooler the neck area is because of that monstrous mane. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? What are you up to, madam? Where are you off to? Maybe she's looking for the missing lioness. Now you can see she's not particularly well fed, and neither was he. Now, I wonder if she will hunt again. She might call for the other lioness. Let's just see what she's up to. It would be lovely to find out what happened to her. Well, let's have a look. She's going to come back towards him now. Okay, and there we go. As I said, you can just see that mane, how much, that dark blue of the mane. Now, of course, that doesn't mean the male lion's not warm under the mane. What it does mean is that he's heavily protected in that area. So that mane is seriously thick to afford him protection if he were to get into a scuffle with another male lion, and even protect him from the girls during mating. Jerry's saying that she didn't think big males would share with the lioness. And, well, they will. And it's such a time of plenty at the moment that it isn't too much of a train smash to share a little bit. Now, we heard quite a lot of hyena calling around at the moment. So the lions aren't making too much noise, just in case they attract them. And I'm not sure where she's off to now. Where are you off to? Where are you going? I don't know if she's heard something, or she's looking for the missing female. And she's disappearing off to the west of us. They're just having a sniff around. Hi, Brenda. Brenda says, this is absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing this with us live. Brenda, it is my absolute pleasure. It is fantastic to be able to share the marvelous migration and its different characters with you live from Kenya. I wonder what she's heard. Is she coming back? She is coming back towards us now. And she's definitely heard or smelt something. Brenda's wondering, are there other females around that will share this kill? Brenda, when we started following these lines, she's going behind us now, right behind us. I think she's going to come round to the carcass from behind the vehicle. Brenda, when we started following them, sorry, I'm just not sure what she's doing. Oh, she's gone to sleep right next behind the car. Brenda, when we started following them, there were two other lions as well. So there was another lioness, and oh, something's happening. There seems to be a herd of wildebeest charging in now. There could easily be other lions around that might chase them. I can just hear the wildebeest, and he can as well. Now, if they happen to run too close here, he would definitely just make them out. There we go. You can see if we go across to the flare, we will see them running in the distance, probably about this big boy. Now, I can hear her running behind the car now. So I say, isn't this incredible? It's live. You never know what's going to happen. There could be other lions chasing those wildebeest from the other side. So, okay, let's go. Have we gone across to the flare yet? there we go. You can see, and you can hear as well, that all of a sudden there was a herd of wildebeest and zebra that sort of started running straight towards where we were sitting in the dark here. But they changed their direction, and that's what caught his attention. Now, I don't know where the lioness has gone. Oh, okay, the lioness is after a wildebeest right behind us. Just hang on a second. Over here. I can't see anything, it's pitch black. I just whacked my spotlight up for a second, and I just saw her disappearing. And you see it? Okay, let me just move again. Now, that's what I just heard, this stampeding behind me. Where's he now, Vim? Okay, there he is. Okay, I know where he is, so I'm just going to go forward a little bit. Now, it's long grass. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to see the different animals. Vim, can we lighten up the flare for me, please, so we can see if there's any signatures around. Thank you very much. Is that her there? I think... Sorry, you guys, I'm staring down at monitors, of course. Does that look like her, Vim? Was that a wildebeest?
Yeah, wildebeest.
Now, she could be right close somewhere. We're on the... So, I think she's in this area here somewhere. So I said I heard wildebeest behind me. And remember, we're sitting in the pitch black. That's why you see when you see me, I'm staring down at the monitors. Now, I heard her charge. I heard those pounding feet. I heard pounding hooves. So, we're not sure. Let's just go a little bit further forward. Just want to have a quick look. Now, there's a little ledge that goes off down here, so she could very easily be using that. Do you think that's her? Is that a wildebeest? There's wildebeest at 1 o'clock. Okay, so she's probably... Or she could be to our left or to our right. It is pitch black around us. I can hear some hyenas actually getting quite close. There she is. Is that her? Okay, there we go. We've got her. There, we've got her. Okay. Now, the wildebeest are in front of her. Let's have a look. Not too far. Now, this is long grass in these areas. I haven't heard them start snorting at her yet. Now, this is what happens during the migration. Even though they've got an adult wildebeest there, it is a time of plenty. So she might even try catch a wildebeest of her own. There we go, she's walking again. Now, she might just be going to find the missing lioness, but I don't think so. Okay, I'm going to move, otherwise I might lose her in this long grass. They're still quite far ahead of me. Okay, while we get into a better position with our lioness, Scott's lions are on the stalk again.
Well, this is number 1 again, and she's heading towards a herd of topi, although she has kind of just changed direction. As Jandre zooms out, you'll see where the topi are. She's still got a bit of work to do. They can sense her. That's for certain. Bring in their eyes and work out what it is they can see. What's going to happen here? Looked like that topi was actually heading to... Oh! No. They're just simply too sharp. She's looking for weak members. That's what she's doing. But these topi are just not one, but 2 or 3 steps ahead of her. Sorry, number 1. We've got no idea where her friend is, number 2. The last we saw, she was heading in the opposite direction of number 1. And it's just the most bizarre thing. I mean, earlier on they were best friends, couldn't leave one another's sides, hugely affectionate, and I thought these 2 ladies are going to really show us all about teamwork and about their bonds that they've built up, but they have yet to display that this evening. Well, the good news is that even though this lady has failed on this attempt, maybe you guys will get lucky and see Brent's Lioness. He's back in position.
Well, our Lioness has disappeared into the grass. We're not sure whether this is a termite mound coming up, which I think it is, not a lion. Is that a termite mound? Is that a termite mound? It's a termite mound. We're just going to have a quick pan again quickly. Let's see if we can spot her. I think is that not her there? No, that's a termite mound. Isn't it incredible the heat the termites exude? Just come back to that termite mound, Vim. Is that not her there?
She was closer.
I think she might be walking to find the other lioness. Let's just have a quick look to the left. There's the wildebeest. Well, she might have abandoned the chase, so to speak, and gone looking for the other lioness. Let's keep going a little bit. Is that not her there? She's done a disappearing act in this long grass. Oh yeah, let's go back. Let's carry on forward a little bit. I want to get up to that next termite mound, and then I'll go back to that where the male was. Now, you'll see my headlights are on now, and as much as I wish I could, but I can't see in the dark, so to make sure, in this area actually there's quite a few big rocks and some holes, so I'm also driving in low range very slowly. You don't speed around here, you'll end up hurting not only yourself but your car. Okay, this is very exciting. I think that is another termite mound, is it not, Vim? Let's have a look. What's that beyond? That's wildebeest. Okay, let's keep moving a bit. Where could she have disappeared to? Maybe she's gone to fetch the other female, who we lost somewhere in this direction a bit earlier. If we don't get sight of her in the fleur shortly, I think I'm going to play safe and head back for the male. I'm just trying to see whether... okay, so there's wildebeest there. Don't think she's there. Okay, let's head back. Now, I don't think anything's going to happen right now. I think she might have gone off to find the other lioness. As you can see, we're doing a quick pan. Oh, hang on. Back to the right slightly, Vim. Okay, what's that? Those are those wildebeest, I think. Let's have a look. Okay, let's keep moving. Now, she could have just gone flat in this very long grass. So even with this incredible flare camera, if she lies down flat in the grass, the cold of the grass will hide her unless we're very close to her. where could she be? And I've got my tracks from a bit earlier, so it makes life a little bit easier. There, looks like it. It's quite disconcerting searching in the dark. Is down watching the flare. Let's have a look at the side. Okay, there we've got a few individual wildebeest there, but no sign of our lioness. Are those wildebeest? They look like wildebeest. Okay, I'm just keeping quiet. See if I can hear anything moving through the grass. As I said, she could be flat somewhere in this area. Oh, is that her there? Is that the male? You think so? I don't think so. I think that's her. Yep, that's her. Okay, we found her. What Kathy says, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the Mara. I'm so thankful we're getting this all live. Well, Kathy, it is wonderful to be out here. Now, you can see how I say, even with this incredible technology, you can see how when she pops her head into that long grass, we do lose her a little bit.
That's a hyena.
Yeah, that's a hyena.
Yeah.
Is this a hyena now? It could be. Could very well be a hyena that's been... I think it is a hyena. Let's have a look. Can we see where that male was? He should be about there. There's a hyena, so it's not her. There we go. And you see... There we go. We can just see it. We can see it in the... It's definitely a hyena. Now, are you going to take the risk of causing trouble with a big boy when there's so many wildebeest around? There we go, you can just see the hyena there in the infrared. There you go, hyena moving through the long grass. And slowly heading towards where that male is. Well, I see him moving away from where that male was. Okay. I'm going to keep moving a little bit now. I don't know where that lioness has disappeared to, but she could appear at any second. She might have even gone back to join the male. Now you can see you can just see my tracks from earlier. And I'm following them back. Just keep scanning for that lioness. So we just keep scanning, keep scanning. Oh, is that her? Oh, that's him, I think. On the kill. Where she has gone. Let's make sure she's not lying around close to us here. No, doesn't look like it. So he's having a good old chow. And she disappeared. Very interesting. Here we go, munch, munch, munch. Now, I have seen male lions at the moment munch through most of a wildebeest. And then sort of just abandon it. You can still hear the massive wildebeest in the distance. I think he's just going to continue to slowly munch through this, and I think hyenas will probably think twice about attacking a male lion, especially with the amount of food that is around them. The winds change slightly and we can hear even more of the migration. So I don't think too much more is going to happen here. Paula is wondering how many lionesses have we seen or we have with us. Well, Paula, we started off with one male and two lionesses, and now we only got one male left. We're not sure what has happened to the other 2 lionesses. The one lioness fed for a little bit on here, and she sounded like she chased some other wildebeest, and we haven't been able to find her again. Okay, well, we're going to probably leave him be for a bit, maybe come back a bit later. We're going to go see if we can find where those lionesses got off to. But stay tuned, you never know when we're going to go live.